Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another show of the Fuel by Generosity podcast. It is your boy, Rich. As you all know, every Wednesday we come here for the Fuel by Generosity podcast, and our show is designed as a way to bring those of us who call ourselves supporters, fans, donors, and partners of Generosity Global to bring you closer to the mission of Generosity Global, what we do, our work, our mission, our impact, and overall our brand. And so this show was designed as a way to basically connect people to the power of generosity, the power that brings us all together, the power of impact, the power of change, the power of love, but most importantly, the power of generosity. And for those of you who know, and for those of you who do not know, welcoming everybody wherever you are. I think we have some people watching today from Nigeria, and we have some people from Kenya, but overall we have guests that are tuning in. So keep tuning in. But overall, the Generosity Global brand, we are on a mission to leverage the power of generosity to change lives around the world. And we do so 4 different components. 2 of them are stateside in America. And so in America, we provide shower services to people who are experiencing homelessness. We basically deliver happiness and restore dignity to those who are unhoused, to those who are not as fortunate as most of us are to receive a good shower service. And in doing that, we also provide food distribution services for our longest and our premier program, Selfless Saturday. Every second and now third Saturday of the month, we serve close to 400 homeless men and women who need a home cooked meal, and countless numbers of volunteers come out to volunteer and to give back and to impact the community. So we are definitely excited about what's happening with Generosity Global stateside. At the same time, you all know we are all about bringing clean drinking water to people around the world, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, who do not have access to clean drinking water. And over the last 5 years, we have been working in Cameroon, bringing clean water to nearly 40,000 people, completing nearly 21 boreholes. We just actually completed the 22nd borehole. And that in itself is going to cover a community that has over 10,000 people. But that one water point is going to serve so many people. So that's literally life-changing in itself. And to sustain most of those projects, we build a lot around women program and the women in the community. And so we have a women program as well in Africa, in Cameroon, and in Kenya, where we focus specifically on women's menstrual hygiene, menstrual health, and teach and equip and empower and uplift these women in this community to be able to provide for themselves, to be able to address their personal hygiene, and to be able to transform lives near and far. So that's what we do at Generosity Global. I am excited about the impact that we've been having. Definitely, like we say, it does not happen without your support. It does not happen without your love. It does not happen without your care. As we always say, generosity changes everything, and everything changed because of you. We are fueled by generosity. The power of generosity allows us to be able to do so much more than we ever dreamt of. When this organization was started, I didn't think we'll come this far. Not that I didn't think, I just did not dream that we will come this far. But as we know, when you keep your foot on the pedal and you believe in something that is bigger than yourself and you rally other people around you, things are bound to happen. And so we are benefiting from your generosity, and we are benefiting from the power of generosity. The other side of this show is designed not only to talk about the amazing things that we are doing at Generosity Global, but also to be able to bring on this platform, on this stage, to expose our viewers, to expose our sponsors, to expose our network to people around the world, people that are local to Baltimore, Maryland, where we are based, or Columbia, Maryland, where we are based, or people who are around the world doing phenomenal things. People that I just basically call change makers, people who are using their gifts, their talents, their resources, the power of generosity to do good and to impact the world. And today, I am so excited about our guest. It's been a young lady that I connected to on not LinkedIn, Instagram, and took her under my wings, and has been a mentee. But when I say she is an amazing leader that I have come to know, I have come to love, I have come to respect. Haven't met her in person, but the connection is there. Her spirit is beautiful. Her mind is big. Her ideas are wild. But most importantly, her heart, her heart, her heart. Look, guys, I'm telling you, it's all about your heart. When your heart is clean and your heart is connected to people, her heart is connected to people, and that is what attracted me to what she was doing. And so over the past couple of years, we have exchanged emails, we have exchanged phone calls, but I have watched her grown from where she started to where she is now. Just an amazing young lady who is literally changing not only her community, but like we say, she is changing the world. She is actually based in Nigeria. And so I think 2 weeks ago, we had somebody from Kenya. And so we have somebody in Nigeria today. So without going too further into her introduction, I would love, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our stage. Welcome to the podcast, my little sister, Princess Ozuma. How are you?
Hey, I'm very good. Thank you, big brother. Thank you. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you for having me. And
Absolutely.
I'm sitting down here. I'm wondering who are you really talking about? Like the introduction and all that. I'm really humbled. Thank you very, very, very much for having me. And thank you for being a mentor to me. I call you big brother, and to be honest, you have been a big brother figure, a mentor figure in absolutely amazing ways. I remember it was sometime in November 2018. I saw a couple of programs you were doing in Africa, and I was blown away. I'm like, that is exactly how I want to be. This is how impactful I want to be. And when I sent a message and I'm like, I'm super inspired by all the work you're doing. And you replied and you called me sister. And and you said three very profound things that I will never forget. I think number one, you said if God has put a vision in your heart, go for it. And you wrote that in capital letters, and you said go for it, and you said do not relent. Do not relent. If God has put something in your heart, do not relent. Go for it. He's going to make provisions for it. And that was how we connected. And trust me, you have been an inspiration to not just me but my team. And we are grateful to have you. Thank you.
I am just blown away by that story. I remember when we first made that connection, and I remember exactly what I said. And to see that message had an impact in your growth, had an impact in your life, and for me, it's humbling. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Princess. Tell us, for those of us who do not know, for the people who do not know about you, let them know, let our audience know who you are.
Okay. Okay, so let's do this. My name is Princess Chinwe Uzoma, and Chinwe means God owns, a property owned by God. And
Oh, my
Uzoma is my last name.
my wife would love that. She loves when names have meaning. So go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, and I really thank God for Erica as well. I've not met you guys, but it's just been so amazing connecting with the family. So going back to the question, my name is Princess Chinwe Uzoma, and my last name means good road. My middle name means God owns or God's property. I'm a young Igbo Nigerian girl. Nigeria is in West Africa, and I was born into a family of five children. I'm actually the baby of the house, and I have four amazing brothers. And my both parents, my dad and my mom, are both ministers of the gospel. And so I grew up in a family where the love of Christ was really, really, really showcased. I grew up in a family where the doors were always open to people that needed help. I would watch my mom go from this home to the other home because she's a nurse by profession. This home to the other home to just help people out, to just check up on people that are not feeling fine and help them with medications if they needed, or straight home and sending them to school, taking care of them, people that are not related to us in any way whatsoever. So that was how I grew up. I grew up seeing that love was a lifestyle. Caring for people was a lifestyle, and it did not matter in it, because you are representing Christ on earth, and that would be exactly what he would want you to do. So that is basically that goes now, and it's been from one stage to another, experiencing a beautiful opportunity to help people, to be there for people, and beyond that, having so much fulfillment and satisfaction coming from it. I usually tell people, and I say, you don't start living until you're able to help people that cannot actually give back to you, people that you might never see till most likely in heaven, people you might never see until you leave the surface of the earth. And when you do that without wanting anything in return, that makes all the sense. That makes life worth living. So that's basically how I grew up. I went through primary and secondary school right here in West Africa, and I got into the university college in 2013 because I really, really wanted to do medicine and surgery. That's been my passion from day one. I have always seen myself helping people medically, and providing medical services to people here in Africa, people that do not have access to very good medical services as they're meant to. And so
Looks like we are having a connection problem. Um, Network service over there is probably low. So, um, Princess, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Princess? If if you can hear me, do me a favor to reconnect, exit, and then enter back into the so I think, yeah, we lost service with her. But again, just an amazing she was in an introductory stage. An amazing young lady who grew up in a house where it was filled with love. And I put a quote, she said, "Love is a lifestyle." She is from and belongs to a home and a family that is nothing
okay,
but
people
love.
back.
And through that, she has been able to
People back
teach people. I think we have her
now.
back on, just basically to spread that love and give love back to those who are in need. Can you hear me now? Princess, can you hear me? I think we are having technical, not technical, but just more like internet connection. The internet connection is probably weak where she is. Again, she is based in Nigeria, and so we may
I
not be.
can.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think people back now. Yeah.
All right, so I'm not able to hear her clearly. I think there may be a delay in our connection. Princess, if you can hear me, do me a favor. Um, Exit the show and then come back in and maybe reposition yourself. Check your connection. We have a weak connection on your side, and so it is our connection is delayed. So I may be speaking 1 minute and then you respond. So try to respond. But overall, just an amazing person who is, like I said, has been a mentee, a little sister, but has a heart of gold, has a desire to serve people, has a desire to impact the world, has a desire to change lives, and one of her passions, which once we get her back on, is all about impact she's passionate about rural development and has helped hundreds of women and children in remote villages to give them access to free medical care, to give them access to food, to give them access to hygiene, to give them access to scholarships and clothing and multiple things. So let me see. I think she may be back on. Let's see. Are you there? Nope, she is back off. So again, we are having technical difficulties connecting with her. I do apologize. I know she's trying her best, but overall, thank you for everybody who's watching right now. Wherever you're watching from, just go ahead and leave a comment so I can shout you guys out. But again, welcome to the Fueled by Generosity podcast. Again, this is all about highlighting the power of generosity, highlighting the power of good, highlighting the power of the work that we do as well as the work that others do around the world to make lives better. And our guest today is Princess Chinwe Uzoma, and she is based in Nigeria. And let me see. Princess, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Okay, good. That's good. That's good right now. So wherever you are, don't move.
I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. Go ahead. Continue. Tell us who you are.
Okay, so you just help me. Tell me what last you heard. So
So I think you were at the stage of being a student at a university. I think that's where we started breaking out.
Okay. So I just always had this conviction or this I always knew that I wanted to be a medical doctor because I wanted to help bring very good medical services or access to people here in Africa that don't have as much as they actually need. And so I really wanted to study medicine because I know that I have an assignment, I have a role to play in bringing very good medical services down here to Africa. So I got into medical school, and I didn't get into medical school immediately. I got another course and I started the course. I kept trying to get into medical school. I kept writing the exams, and after 2 years, I got into medical school, and that was a huge testimony. And since then, it's been 5 years in medical school, and by God's grace, by the middle of next year, I should be a medical doctor. That's like a dream coming through for myself and Africa at large. Yes, so that's been my stage. That's how I've moved from each stage to where I am right now. But in the middle of it, I found my assignment, which is the WhiteTheme Care Initiative that came together and has been.
Oh man, we are losing her again.
Amazing, has been a fulfillment for me, really. So yeah, that's who I am.
Okay. I know you were talking about the White Initiative, and we lost you there briefly, and I think we are losing you. The signal is weak again, but again, thank you to everyone who is joining us today. I am with our guest for today, Princess Chinwe Uzoma, and she is based in Nigeria, but an amazing young lady who is doing phenomenal things to impact her community as well as impact the world. We're going to just basically try to get as much out of this interview as possible. as we continue to disconnect, unplug, and I think I just lost. Let's see, just lost her again. But we will try to connect on this interview to make sure that we can give you the totality of who she is and all that she does and the impact that she is making, her and her team, which is really what I wanted to get into. But I will see if she can come back, if she can connect, if she can be plugged back in. But if for those of us who are in the line of service, we realize that it's never easy work to do. Whatever it is that you are passionate about, whatever it is that you are gifted in, and whatever it is that you feel like you've been called to, it really is a matter. It's a work that comes from your heart. It comes from this desire to want to use this platform or this space that we occupy every day to notice the problems that are around us, notice the issues, and notice the pain that others are experiencing, and being the one that is called to answer that question, to basically solve or do your best to try to solve the problem, do your best to try to basically help those who are in need, to give them a hand up, to impact their lives, to transform them, to give them hope, to give them happiness, to give them joy. And the work that we do at Generosity Global is just that. When we show up in communities that are in need of our services, that are in need of our help, that are in need of our support, one thing is for sure, is for certain. When we arrive and when we leave, one thing is guaranteed. There's going to be happiness. There's going to be joy. There's going to be transformation because we showed up. And so one of the things about transforming the lives of people and transforming the world is all about showing up, right? There is so much power when we decide to show up to our assignment, when we decide to show up to our organizations, when we decide to show up to our calling, when we decide to show up for a cause. And so it could be the founder, or it could be the leader, it could be the volunteer, it could be the donor. Our task is to show up, because when we show up, lives are transformed, lives are changed, people are transformed, people get to see the work, people get to see us, people get to meet us. And it's no longer head theory, it's no longer mind theory, but now it's action that is exemplified. And once we start living our lives in an actionable way that people can see, it sets an example, it sets a tone, it sets a belief, it sets a movement where others want to be part of the things that we do. And what Princess has been doing in her community in Nigeria, what she has been doing has been nothing short of being phenomenal. She has been, mobilizing people, mobilizing over 150 professionals, and getting young men, young women to be able to serve alongside her, to be able to impact communities, to be able to transform lives. And so I think she may be back on. Let's see if she's back on. And let me bring her on stage. Can you hear me, Princess?
I can hear
Okay.
you.
So it's all right.
Apologies, everyone.
We know that you have connection issues, so we're gonna do this the best way we can. Okay.
Okay, thank
So
you.
let's, since we have it, let's jump right into the White Theme Care Initiative. Let's jump into that. Tell us about that. Tell us about what you do with that. And for everybody who's listening and everybody who's watching, if you want to follow her, yes, the Instagram. Make sure you follow that Instagram. She is there, and I think she lives on Instagram. Like I told her the other day, she is the princess of Instagram. So make sure you follow that ticker. I'm gonna actually put a ticker there so that way you can follow it. Good. So tell us about the White Team Initiative.
Okay, so the WhiteTheme Care Initiative is a non-for-profit organization that I founded in 2016, just 2 years before I met you. And we are a team of very young professionals and very young people. Majority of us, about 95% of us, reside here in Nigeria. And one thing that we've been doing so significantly has been rural development. So we're dedicated to rural development, and we started a campaign that we captioned one community at a time. And since 2016, right up to date, we've been moving from one community to another and to another, and we have it's just been so amazing sharing love with people that are really in places that are really not developed in any way whatsoever. I remember the first journey we made to a particular community in Abia State is in Nigeria, West Africa. My team and I think we were about 21 of us. The first outing we ever made was about 21 of us. The thing is that I believe that there are a lot of people out there that have the same mind as we all right here have, as to helping people and helping the poor and helping the less privileged and all of that. And they are actually looking out for how can we do this? Is there a means? How can we help? How can we volunteer? And one thing that has always happened again and again that has taught me a lot of lessons is that each time we call out for volunteers, people actually really show up, and you can see them serving with all their heart, and you can just sit back and you're like, thank you, Jesus, for this one. And right from the first day I shared this vision with my friends and with people around me and people that cared to listen, a lot of people, it looked like everyone was waiting to hear about something or to volunteer or to help, really. And it's been very encouraging. So we've moved from one community to the next and to the next. And what we actually do whenever we get into these communities is we try to provide free medical services to the indigents of the community,
So
people that.
what exactly do you provide? What exactly do you do with the free medical services?
Okay, so we have different professionals come on board. We have doctors, we have medical scientists, we have pharmacists, and we have optometrists. This four sets of professionals come together, and when people, so we set up a stand, and people line up and take their turns, and they get to see the doctors, run tests, do investigations, diagnosis are set out, and free medications given, free reading glasses, free eye checkups, and several other tests. People get to know their blood group, their genotype, all this kind of information, and everything needed to come up with diagnosis and treatments for these people in these villages and in these communities where they might not really have very good access to medical care or medical services. So what we do is we bring the professionals from the towns and from the cities, and we go straight up to them, and we're able to help people. We're able to refer cases if some cases come up and we know this needs a surgery, we refer those cases, or we make payments for the surgeries which we are not able to do on the spot. And we just make sure that especially the elderly people get enough medications that they need to help the illnesses they're going through, or we keep them. Apart from that, we do a lot of seminars as well. We teach the villagers personal hygiene, how to keep clean, symptoms, and what they mean, when you should really try to get out of the village to see a doctor. And we let them know all of these things. We bring professionals, doctors, well-trained doctors, and that's usually how the medical segment of the outreaches usually go. Away from that, there's a lot we do. So most times when we get into the communities, we identify the problem before the outreaches. Before we run the outreaches, we go like a month before, 3 weeks before, and we meet the indigents of the community, and we find out what the problem is. do you need clean water? If you have clean water, how's the education for your children? And we try to find out the very, very unique or characteristic issues that these communities are having, and we try to meet them. Last 2 years ago, that was in 2019, we were in a community called Ngobala. It's in Imo State. Imo State is in Nigeria. And
In most states.
exactly. Yeah, Imo State is in the southeastern part of Nigeria. And we figured that they needed clean water. And the good thing is that we have partners and we have sponsors that always help. There are people that we cannot give the testimony of the WhiteTheme Care Initiative without these people. And so we're able to, I told you about this, we're able to drill a borehole for that community by the help of one of our very, very strong partners. And it was amazing because people had clean water. And I just, right when we were doing the unveiling of the borehole, I each time I just shut my eyes, I could just see you because the first time I saw that ever done anywhere in Africa from a non-profit organization was you. I don't know, that was in Cameroon. I'm not sure, that was in Cameroon or so.
Yeah, that was in
And
Cameroon.
exactly. So when that happened, that brought so much life to the community. Water is life. Water is very important, and even for the health of the indigents of the community. I think that's been one of the biggest projects we've done so far. And till date, it's been testimonies over testimonies over testimonies. There's still call from that community to say thank you very much for coming around. So we try to meet the needs of majority of most of the different age groups in the community. So I would use the Ngobala experience, one community at a time experience, to explain what we do. So when we got to Ngobala, we tried to separate the different age groups, right? So there are people on the team that are very good with children. There are people on the team that are very skilled. There are shoemakers. There are people that are willing to teach how to bake and how to make different delicacies. There are people that are willing to teach how to make different African crafts. And we're not just here to give you food or to feed the whole community. What happens tomorrow when we're not here? That helps reduce our follow-up, the work we have to do with follow-up. And so
Very
we
good.
get to teach them skills as well. We want you to be able to take care of your community when the WhiteTheme Care Initiative is not there. And so the youths come together, we teach them skills, we teach how to bake cake. I mean, you could bake cake and sell and try to take care of your family. We provide sometimes it depends. It's peculiar to the community. So it's been there's this community in Akis is in Ebonyi State. So we did Imo State, we've done Abia State, and Akis is in Imo State, in Ebonyi State rather. And we got there and we met this very young lady, and she was heavy, she was pregnant, she just got married, but her husband wasn't doing so much. And we asked her, "What are you doing? What skill do you have?" And she's like, "I'm learning to make clothes. I am learning. I want to become a seamstress. I'm learning to become a tailor, and this is how far I've gone, and I'm almost done." And what we did together, even after we left, we came back to the community after 2 days, and we got a sewing machine and all the kits she needed to perfect her skills. So there's just so much. There's just so much. But when you get into a community, you connect with the community differently. It's just been different experiences, and I really, really thank God for especially the volunteers, people that sometimes as an individual I get really overwhelmed, and you just hear a voice from behind telling you, "Oh, we've got you," like your volunteers, and telling, "We can do this. I know it's looking like you don't know where the money's going to come from." And sometimes 2 days before the outreach, the money just comes.
Amen.
And
Yeah, it's always interesting, but I think overall the things that you said that I want to to double click on, and one of them is the thing of training the people in the community from a
Mhm.
sustainability standpoint. Okay, let's talk about why that is so important to train people, to teach them. Why is that so important?
Okay. So you we try not to just give them the fish, but also teach them to fish, because we're not going to be in the community forever. Even though we try to do some follow up and try to see how are these people doing, how's the community doing now, how are things, but we're not going to always be there. And so what we want to do is to empower people with skills, so that they can make a living for themselves and try to also help their community even when we're not there. So the idea is you have people come all the way from where they are, and they really want to teach you, and you can palpate the love, you can feel the love, and we're teaching you with love. We want you to learn these things. And the idea is that when we leave, you remember that love is one of the most memorable things ever. If you feel love, it's hard to forget love. And so we
Mm,
use love as an instrument to strike a chord in the lives of the youth, especially the youths. And we try to make them remember that anything can become greater if you fuel it with love. And so all the skills become a means to raise some money, or a means to take care of your family, or to just help the community stay alive. So we imagine that the youths might not really remain in the community forever. When they leave and maybe come to the towns, the cities where we are, they're able to take care of themselves. They're able to bring some value to the table. They're able to say, oh, this is a skill I have. You have something already attached to your skill sets, and you make a difference, for the whole world. So we're not always going to be there, but the skill and the love remains.
that's
Exactly.
beautiful. That is beautiful. I think again when we fuse love into everything that we do, when we make it intentional to teach people, so that way they themselves can take care of themselves, their community, their needs, then we are technically investing not just for the now, but also for the future. Do you agree?
Exactly. I do.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, that's it's as simple as that. And you know, um, you know, typically that's where, in my experience, that's where the work really comes in, right? Because it,
Listen,
you
you, I
know,
can hear you clearly.
I said typically in my experience, that is where the work truly comes in, and
Exactly.
and and that's where we need the volunteers to show up for us, the support to show up for us, so that way we can have it in our system, in our process to develop things that are going to outlast us when we are long gone. Correct?
I'm actually losing you. I can't really hear clearly. It's like muffled a little bit. But I guess what you're saying is that dropping the skills and not just every other package of maybe food and all that is really very important, because we're investing in the future. Oh, my dad is here.
Yeah, your dad is
Good to
here.
have you here, Daddy. Thanks for being here. Okay. So yeah, what we're saying is it's very important to invest in the future, because it's what it's what makes what you're doing in the present valid, that you equip those people to be relevant, to bring value to the table in the future. So and also another thing we do to make sure that we're adequately investing in the future, even in these communities, is that we also reach out to the children. We all know that they are the leaders of today and tomorrow, and we are very, very, very particular about the children. And beyond when we play with them, them and try to get to know them or get them to relax and sing songs with them or even play football with them and all of that. We also look into their academics. There are times when we've given scholarships to, I think, over 10 children in different communities all put together. And we use how we actually select these children is when we get there, we do quizzes or we do talent hunts. We were at a handicapped school to we're still in Abia State, and there were children that were in wheelchairs, right, in that community, in a particular school in that community. They were in wheelchairs. They had never walked in their lives. They were using clutches. But they were yet in school. And we did a lot of mind restructuring. So one of the things we do for the children is we walk on their mind. We talk to them. There are medical professionals that also talk to them and help them understand that, see, it's not really about how you were born or or what happened after you were born that made you disabled, but the fact that you can actually still be anything you want to be. You can actually, there are actually surgeons that are on wheelchairs and still do surgeries. You have, your dreams are valid. As far as you can see it, as far as you can dream it, then you can be it. And you see so much life in children that do not even have a tenth of what you had when you were growing up. And that gives so much that help that gives so much calmness in our spirits. And we're like, if this is our assignments, then, and we're doing it, then it's enough. I When I talk to my friends, I'm like, if the WhiteTheme Care Initiative is all I do all my life, then I am already fulfilled. Because you leave smiles on the faces of these people, and you are sure that you've transformed a life. You might never get to see them ever again, but the truth is, a change, a chord has been struck, and transformation has occurred. And even if they do not remember your name, they remember the words you spoke. They remember that the whole world is waiting for them. So beyond just going one community at a time and one community at a time, the WhiteTheme Care Initiative is meant to be a legacy. The idea is we're building a structure and a system that would outlive us, that would be right here on the surface of the earth, even when we are no more, even when none of us right here on this podcast is on the surface of the earth. What happens after we leave? So we're not just helping these people, but we're creating a mindset in them that would outlive us. So when they remember that there's some people that came all the way, that traveled 4 hours and 3 hours, just to come and remind us that there is still love out there, and teach us and love upon us, and buy more wheelchairs for us, and give us back to school materials, and buy us school bags, and do all of that, and give us scholarships, and do all of that. They remember those experiences. They might not remember how fair my face is or how tall the volunteers are, but they will remember that there were some people that made this impact in their lives. And most likely return the impact, and most likely do the same thing to people around them. That is the ripple effect that the WhiteTheme Care Initiative is about. We're all about what happens after we're no longer here. So if we're able to plant seeds of love, if we're able to plant in the hearts of people, in the hearts of children in this village. You see, there was an experience we had. We got into a community, and just driving into the community, the very terrible roads under the rain and everything, you see people are still living in houses made of mud, like mud, not bricks, not blocks, nothing but mud. We got into the community. It was just a one-story building that was made with bricks, and every other person was still literally in the 40s, in the 20s, and you're like, this is the 21st century, in the part of the world I'm coming out from, and people here still walk around naked. In that instance, one of my volunteers just broke down, and she started to weep, and she started to cry. I'm like, we were all dumbfounded for nothing less than about 2 minutes as we hit the community. It was overwhelming. But at the end of meeting with these people and conversing with them, giving free haircuts, helping the little girls, cut their nails, braid their hair. And the idea is we want them to feel like kings and queens because they actually are. And when a king knows he's a king, he's gonna find his kingdom and he's gonna rule that kingdom. And
Amen.
so that's just about we love every single person, all the people we've met, and all the experiences we've had. We've kept them and we've cherished them in our hearts, and we are blessed. We see it as a blessing, more like a blessing than any other thing.
That's
And
right.
yes, I celebrate my volunteers anytime, anytime,
Yeah.
any day.
What
They
is
have
what
been
is the
just
what is the what
enough.
is the feeling like when you depart from the field, when you depart from the villages and you make it back home? What is the feeling like?
Well, it's beyond words can explain. It's really beyond words can explain, but it's usually just a joyful feeling, right? You just feel like you're fulfilled. If anything happens to me right now, I have something to talk to God about. I have something to tell God about. I have a story to tell. So it's usually very, very satisfying, very fulfilling, very amazing. It's like let's not leave this place. There's been experiences when we're traveling back.
Oh man, I think we have lost her again. She was really getting into something deeper about the fulfillment that you feel when you leave the field. There's, for me, I can speak from my experience. There's something magical, even as tired as we are, when we depart the field, when we are in Cameroon, when we went to Kenya, and when we leave the field and are able to just take time. First off, you're just basically trying to catch up with rest. But even more so, there's this connection, this bond that you have with the people that you have just brought aid to. For me personally, is always a time of reflection, but at the same time, it's not just reflection, it's a reminder of the commitment that we made. And knowing that if we just did it for a few, it is our duty, it is our calling, it is our mission to do for more, because the reality is there's so many more people out there who need our help. There's so many people out there who are in need, who basically need you to say yes, to answer the call, to rise up and say you want to use that platform, whatever platform that you have been given. Again, it's irrespective of your platform. Sometimes people think you need to have a lot of money, you need to have a lot of resources, you need to have a lot of XYZ, but the reality, and it goes for anything in life, you just really need to have the heart and the determination and the love for people, the love for what it is that you want to do. And when you do that, and when you have that, and when you embody that spirit, you can come to the table, and you may not have the answer to everything. You may not have the answer to the to what it is that you wish to accomplish. You may not have the entire vision laid out to you, but when you have the heart, provision is going to be made. Help is going to be sent to you. Resources are going to be opened up for you. And as long as you keep going, as long as you keep taking a step after the step, the people that you are meant to impact, keep in mind, it's not possible to impact the entire world, but there are a designated few that have been positioned just for you to impact. And that is exactly what Princess is doing. I think we have her back. Welcome back, Princess. Um,
Thank you.
Talk about the
Thank you.
mindset. I think you were talking about leaving the field, but let's segue with the mindset of, you know, realizing that, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Right? That's a biblical and a Bible saying. Um, the power of your volunteers and what they mean, and how are you able to get your volunteers to come to the work that you do?
Okay. Um, just as I always said, or just like I said before, the one of the strongest pillars that the WhiteTheme Care Initiative has had is the volunteers. I have over working with a team of over 150 professionals, and
How did you get 150 professionals?
it's like we grew from about 25 to 45, and then
Amazing.
to 100, and then to at least 150. Right now I'm sure that we're more than that, but an average of 150. And how did we get here? I have to say I have no idea, but the truth is that the truth is I think people identify with things that work, and that works with every sphere of life. People want to when you let people know that this is the best way to live your life, this is the best way to for me, I see that as an enjoyment. This is the best way to enjoy your life. And there the truth is, big brother, the truth is there are a lot of people out there that have very, very pure and beautiful hearts. There are a lot of people out there that want to help. And just as I said before, they're just looking for opportunities and platforms, and from which they can help or they can reach out to people. And they're very wonderful Africans as well. So what
Yes.
we do is we call out. We just do a call for volunteers, and we get them to send their biodata and why they want to be a part of the organization, and we do some vetting, and we accept most of them, especially people that you can feel from their aces or their write-ups or whatever their visions, or why they want to really be part of the WhiteTheme Care Initiative, and we accept them and we train them. So the thing is, most likely, most of the volunteers right now are not exactly as they were when they got into the WhiteTheme Care Initiative. The truth is, just going for these outreaches and getting roles assigned to you also gives you an opportunity to get better. And my volunteers also learn on the job, the acquire skills, and we've become so much of a family. And we've grown together. We've built structures and systems. We've learned how to apply for grants. We've learned how to have communication with people in their native languages. So it's just been amazing working with them. For every outreach, there's a different number of volunteers working with us, right? Because some people are not able to travel with us to the venue for the outreach, but they are supporting, they are sending in support, they are sending in both financial and moral support. And once you have the heart, you can volunteer, because it gets really, really stressful. But when you remember, this is what I'm created for, and I chose to be here, and it just keeps you going and moving. And the experience is also really, really help. Really help. I have volunteers write me and say thank you very much for the WhiteTheme Care Initiative. But I always teach them, and I'm like, it's really not my organization, it's ours. And so the professionals and the people I have on my team actually take the WhiteTheme Care Initiative as theirs. So sometimes, like during the pandemic, when the pandemic was really intense in 2020, they were calling. They were like, a lot of them were calling. What can we do? What can we do to help? Where are we doing this outreach? How are we helping? People were calling to remind us that, oh, we've not done this year's outreach. These are people that are really dedicated to this vision. So it's very, very important to have people of black.
Oh my, we are losing her again. I think we are losing her once more. Let's see. We are almost at the final stretch. We're gonna make it through. We lost her again. Signal went out. But what she was saying and what she was mentioning is, sometimes, and that's the message we preach, right? It's never about one person. And I think she eloquently said that. to make the volunteers, to make the supporters, to make those who are actually in the field with us feel as though they have ownership of what we do. It is not about one person. It is not about one vision, but really it is about a mission that everybody is connected to, and we are all on this mission together. Is that what you were saying? Can you hear me?
Okay. I didn't hear the last thing you said. Sorry.
No, so I was basically reiterating what you said about making the volunteers feel connected to the mission, to the organization, so that way when you do that, they're able to do more for the organization.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So, trying to make the organization feel like family, like we're part of this, and this is part of us. That really helps them feel at home there. So you always have to check up on them as much as you can, and it's not like we're pretending to love them. We actually really I love my volunteers. I love my teammates, and they're just phenomenal. So each
Oh man, we are losing her. We are losing her. Let's see if she can come back. We're talking about volunteers. We're talking about the love for volunteers. But again, part of that is really the work, the field work, just overall the organizational structure, especially when you're in the nonprofit NGO space. It's really, really imperative to have people who believe in you, who believe in your mission, people who are ready to volunteer. And most of the time, people who are bringing so many skills to the table to help you help the organization accomplish the bigger vision. It's never easy to recruit, to have people join, and to keep people. But what is important is whenever people come and they serve alongside you, make them feel valued, especially the ones who are really connected to the mission. It is so important for us to always keep in mind that these are human beings too. And we should always value their time. We should always value the value that they bring. We should always value their wisdom and their knowledge and their expertise, because those things are all part of the building block of building an organization that can, transform the world. As she mentioned, some of these communities that they go into are like 4 or 5 hours away, and so you have to have the heart to want to do something big, do something major for somebody else, and help them to be able to travel on, not what is the smoothest roads that we have here in America, but sometimes we are talking about stretches and stretches of very, very bad road to get to your final destination. And so, I'll bring Princess back on as we get ready to land this plane. Let me ask her, Princess, welcome back. Sorry again,
Thank you.
technical difficulties. We are
Thank
almost
you.
there. But let me ask you, so I know COVID brought about some challenges and everything, but right now, what are your what goals do you have? What is the next big projects that you all are working on?
Okay. So right now on our table we have, when I talked about the legacy part of the WhiteTheme Initiative, or it's it's um it's a plan. It's like a 5-year plan to get into different states in Nigeria. There are about 36 states in there are 36 states in Nigeria. So the plan is to get into a community in each of these states and finding one person, you know, doing a quiz or an essay competition, and finding one person that is promising enough in these interior communities, and giving them scholarships through college, and doing that in a 5-year bracket of time, doing that in each state, the 36 states, and getting 36 of them into a small family. And the idea is that it
Oh man, we are losing her again. Sorry guys. Once again, the connection is very, very weak. Thank you all so much for your patience as we try to bring this show to a close. But again, I think she was, speaking about the goal of getting scholarships to promising students, people in certain communities, to ensure that they are funded, they are equipped to pursue further education to transform their lives. And overall, it is always a noble cause, because the interruptions took us away from talking about the importance of education, especially in African communities, and especially in these villages where people don't have much to give, people don't have much to pay for school and all those things, and education sometimes is your ticket out. So we unfortunately not going to be able to talk to her. So when I bring her back on, it's really going to be us landing this plane. I think she's still trying to reconnect. All right, we're still trying to reconnect. But again, Princess, she is based in Nigeria. I have her Instagram handle right there, Princess Chinwe Uzoma. If you want to follow her, matter of fact, not if, go ahead and follow her, and you will see that she's a phenomenal young lady, a woman that is on fire for Christ, and a prayer warrior, an amazing leader in her home as well as in her community, and overall just a great person that I have come to learn myself, and Erica have come to know. And we continue to we continue looking forward to just growing with her, growing alongside her, and possibly working with her in Nigeria, with some of her initiatives that align with the Generosity Global missions. And but overall, just great person. I am trying to see if she comes back so we can bring this show to a close. And thank you all so much for your patience. Next week, I might as well talk about next week. Next week again, we have an amazing guest, who again is another mentee, but I call her mentor. She calls me mentor. Just an amazing person, based in Cameroon, but her impact spans throughout Africa. Does a lot of amazing work, and I am delighted to bring her on the show next week. And it's just part of our Women's History Month, recognizing women locally and around the world who are doing great things, who are doing good work, and who are literally transforming our world, transforming villages. And if you know of any woman, we have one more spot for the next couple of weeks. Would love to have another woman who is a female who is doing good work in the community. Would love for us to bring them and highlight their work. So please shoot us an email at info@generosityglobal.org. Again, let me type that down. If you know anybody who is doing amazing work, a female who is doing amazing work, please have them send us an email at info@generosityglobal.org. And that way we can connect with them. We can have them on the show. We can interview them, and we can present them to you. And if you find connection with the work that they are doing, it will be meaningful to you, and it will be transformative to you. And so I think we have Princess back, and I think we are landing this plane right now. Let me see. Princess, are you there? Princess, are you there? Can you hear me? Just trying to give her an opportunity to close down the show with me. Can you hear me, Princess? Okay.
Yes, brother.
All right. So don't worry. Technical difficulties, it happens. we will definitely, get you back on the show when we have good connection. But um, a lot of people have been with us for about an hour. And so usually we end the show because we have reached that time where we need to land this plane and end the show. Um, we end the show by me giving you the last word. For those who have been listening and those who have been listening to you talk about the work that you do, what call to action do you have for them? What words of inspiration, what words of wisdom do you have for our audience to leave them with as we land this plane?
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to encourage everyone out there. First of all, the people that have given their lives to generosity, people that have, in one way or the other, given off their little and their plenty to other people that can afford either clean water or good food or however it is that you have helped the needy, the less privileged. I want you to know that it will not go unrewarded. And I want you to know that even God loves a cheerful giver, and it's perfect. Life is perfect when we flood it with love. And so you are living a perfect life when you're living it for other people. Remember,
Mm,
you don't start living until you're able to help people that even if they sold every single thing attached to their names, they will not be able to give back to you. So yes, I just want to encourage everyone that's doing one thing or the other to help the other person, that homeless person, that person that can pay their tuition, that person that has nothing to eat. No matter what you're doing to put a smile on someone's face, the Lord sees you and the Lord rewards you already. And every other person that's been considering, oh, should I help or should I volunteer? Oh, I'm very perfect in my shell, and I just want you to know that living is given, right? And giving is living is the same thing. So there's this
oh, no, don't disconnect. Don't disconnect. Oh, you have to finish that thought. You have to finish that thought because we are losing you. You have to. I think there was something good coming. Let's see. Oh man, we have lost her again. I have to wait as she was saying something good. Um, Princess, come back. We need you. We need you to shut down the show. Let's see. We'll give her like 20 seconds. If she doesn't come back, I will finish up the show and I will close it out and then I'll queue you up for the next show. But overall, I love what she says. Living is giving and giving is living. They're connected. When we give, we are living. We come alive. And when we come alive, we're able to give more. We're able to give from sometimes places that is not enough, but because we are connected to the one who has enough, we're able to give more. We're able to give life through our acts of kindness. Princess, are you back? So give back through our acts of kindness and give back through our generosity. And so our show is really geared towards giving generosity, living a generous life, using the power of generosity to transform the world, to transform our communities, and then transform our lives. And so I believe that we have Princess back. She is gone. So, guys, we would unfortunately have to end this show. I really wanted her to give a good word, but for everybody who tuned in, for those of you who stayed with us along the show, thank you all so much for being part of another show, another Fueled by Generosity podcast. Thank you all so much for being patient with us, being patient with Princess. If you want to follow her, connect with her on Instagram at Princess Chinwe Uzoma. Her hashtag, her handle is there. Connect with her. She is doing amazing things. If you are in Nigeria and you wish to connect with an organization, if you are in her state and you wish to connect with an organization in that state, she'll be. I highly recommend her. She is transparent with her work and does a lot of good things for her community and for her people. And so thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you all so much for being part of the show. We appreciate you all, and I will be certain to bring her back on the show as we have been. Let me see. Yes, sir. I can't let it go. There you go. Welcome. I was hoping you came back. Um, so yeah, just give us the final word. If we disconnect, we disconnect. So give us a final word, okay?
Okay, so I want to say thank you for everyone who was patient enough through all the connection issues. And beyond everything, I want to first of all encourage everyone that's doing something, you're doing anything whatsoever to help someone around you. I just want you to be encouraged, and I want you to know that God sees you. Okay, and secondly, if you're considering it, how can I help? Just start by being a volunteer or start at home. One thing that helped was I started at home. Start with the people around you. Start with your younger sister, your younger brother. Teach them. Try to show love to people around you, and then it's going to now move away from your home. And truth is, living is giving. I was saying that earlier. Living is giving, and when you're giving, that's when you actually giving. When God created the animals, the Bible recorded that He made them according to their kind. He made the lions according to their kind. He made the elephants, the fishes according to their kind. But when He made the both of us, when He made us, He made us according to His kind. And one very very unique characteristic of the kind, the God kind, is given. He gave His only begotten Son. God gave His only begotten Son, so that all of us today can be saved and will not perish and all of that. So we have an identity from God, and that identity is given. So enjoy that identity is yours to have. So living is given, and giving is living. Thank you
Love
everyone
it.
for joining
Love
me.
it. Love it. Princess, thanks for being on the
Thank you for
show.
having me
We
too.
appreciate you. We'll definitely make sure we have you back on because there's so much that you have to offer. Like I said, it is my prayer that one day we'll be able to join forces and do something amazing together because you have the right platform that generosity is looking for. But we know God is going to make a way. And to all of our audience, to our guests, our viewers, thank you all so much for watching. We will see you all next week, same time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA time, East Coast time. We will see you all for another guest, and we are celebrating Women's History Month. So if you have two more women, I want to interview two more women who are doing amazing things. Let them know about the show and have them email me. For now, we are out. Bye bye. God bless. We are Generosity Global. Peace out.